Remember you watched that movie with the Great White Hype with Damon Wayans?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember it was like, man, dude, you know what we need to get you, man? We need to get you a white boy champion because that's what sells.
You're right.
Oh my God.
That's what's gonna sell.
Was Chris
If
Weidman the last
Strickland
one?
sees this,
Hosheh MMA listen man مساك وورد معطر ياسمين شباب صبايا ايمن مسكين وقت طارق اهدى كتير حكيت انت لما هوشي يبدا اسكت لا تندم عكس لوز وسكر زيهم ابيض اسمر طارق عم يتمسخر ايمن بس بتحضر نفس التايتين ع اكبر شوي لو تحكي قدامه راح يبلعك ناي زي راجنا ريمان يغزو طارق بالا غنز وروكت بس ما طارق حتى حوارهم في كتير زناخه مسك حاله ايمن طارق.
good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gents. I'm Tariq. This is Ayman, and tonight we have got an unbelievably special guest for you guys. It's our brother, the pride of Palestine, the number one welterweight contender in the world, Belal. Remember the name, Muhammad. What's up, bro?
What's up, brother? Glad to be back. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It has, man.
It's been a minute.
It has, man. Fans are driving us nuts, asking for you on the show. Honestly, man, like you have a huge following this part of the world. I'm sure you know that already, but it's nice to reiterate every now and then. People love you. Good to have you back, man.
I mean, I love the people over there, especially the Americans out here suck. So anytime I find it up and down, I'm gonna be happy to go.
Oh man, I mean, we haven't. I mean, last time I saw you was when you were in Abu Dhabi for the Sean Brady fight. Man, the crowd went ballistic. I've never seen Abu Dhabi go like that. That was the biggest Abu Dhabi reaction we've ever seen.
Yeah, honestly, that was probably one of the best moments I think of my like career, and it was just like a memorable moment for my life. Like I've never experienced something like that, and then just the whole lead up to it, having Khabib in my corner, being there to finish a prospect like that who they all said was going to beat me, and to go out there and dominated him, and just like I was like the crowd went nuts, and I didn't even know where I was running. I was like, man, I want to run into the crowd right now. And I didn't even know like I was running to. People were like, were those your family? I was like, bro, I didn't even know who they were. I was just running to them. So I was just like so excited. But it was an epic moment. It was one of those where I always go back and look at my phone at those pictures and things like that, and just think about the lead up to it, being down there for 5 weeks. It was just an amazing time.
It was a crazy moment. Were you able to embrace the moment and be there and just appreciate what that was in the moment, or did it happen afterwards in retrospect, looking back and remembering? Because a lot of times people just don't know how to embrace it in the now, right now. Like, look what's happening. It's all for this moment. Everything I've worked for is for this moment.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of those where starting my UFC career, my coach, Lewis Taylor, he's the one who would just keep telling me, like, bro, live in the moment. Even in like my debut, losing to Aljo Ban, but it was still considered like the fight of the night. And it was like, I'm so bad of a loser. I hate to lose so mad. So like, I wasn't even thinking about it, but he was like, bro, look at the crowd. Everybody's going nuts. We were having like Max Holloway run up to us, tell us great fight. We were having Diego Sanchez, and I was just like, get away from me, man. I don't want to talk to nobody right now. But like ever since then, like he always reminds me, yo, this is the moment right now. All these people are here for you. Even before the walkout, Khabib was telling me, these people are here for you. Know that, touch them, feel them. And I embraced it afterward, but still, like it didn't hit me that, man, what I accomplished there, until you see the pictures afterward, until you see the videos afterward, until you have like the messages from fans telling you how much that win meant to them. Like it really didn't start hitting until like I was on the plane back to America, and it was like 19 hours. So you're sitting there just thinking a lot, and you know, you're not getting no sleep until the next morning, but it's like, it was amazing.
I lost my voice then. You saw me the next day. I lost my voice. Because I was screaming so much.
Thought it lost his voice for a good week, man.
I couldn't speak for I saw Belal the next day.
Yeah. We saw each other. I was like you said, realize what it means to everybody else, and then you're like, dang, I
tried leaving the event. I'm not joking. I went to leave, and my buddy Mohammed Kurdi with me. He's like, where are you going? I'm like, I don't need to be here anymore. I'm good. I'm good. This is good. I'm good. I don't care what. I can watch the rest of it from the comfort of my room. I'm happy. And then, man, we go from that to Gilbert Burns. I've got a question. Why are they bringing us Colby to Abu Dhabi?
Honestly, it doesn't make any sense at all. Like
I
for
thought
me,
it was a conspiracy, man. Honestly, I thought it was some conspiracy theory. I had my own theory about, okay, it's gonna turn around last minute. They're gonna change it. Bilal's gonna step in. Like that's like wishful thinking, I guess, from my side. But what's going on there, man? How would you explain what's going on?
yeah, I mean, for me, it's before fighting Gilbert, like I made the most sense to be fighting for the title next. Usman and Leon just finished that. Like I made the most sense. I made the most sense to be the one that weighed in as a backup to that fight in London, but they didn't give it to me. And then I was sitting here on the couch wondering what's going to be next, like who's going to be. And I was thinking of Kamaru Usman probably be next since they all of a sudden gave that title fight to Colby, which obviously people have what their thoughts are on that and this and that. And to me, it's obviously obvious that he dropped the charges on Masvidal, and that's the only reason why he's getting the title fight. That's the only obvious thing that makes sense. There's nothing else that makes sense. Yeah. So I'm sitting there like, whatever. And then they call me. Well, I see the Beneil Dariush fight pulls out. So then I was like, you know what? Let me call out Colby. Like, let Colby earn that fight. He didn't earn the title fight. His last win was against Masvidal. So I was like, Beneil Dariush pulled out. Let me fight Colby right now. I'll fight him on 3 weeks' notice. Neither one of us are in camp. So let's go. He just weighed in London, so he should be close to weight. So then I put that out there. Then all of a sudden, my manager called and said, no, Colby's not going to fight, but Gilbert will fight. And I'm like, bro, Gilbert just fought. Gilbert's in shape. He didn't get no damage done in the Masvidal fight. Like, what am I going to gain from fighting Gilbert? Like, he has the upper hand, obviously, because I'm not in camp. It's Ramadan. I'm in Toronto right now doing charity work. So it didn't really make any sense. But then they called me. They said, you win this, you'll be fighting for the title next after the winner of Colby and Leon. That's all you had to tell me, because now I'm not stuck in limbo of what's next. I know I beat Gilbert. Dana said directly from him, yo, you beat him, you're going to be fighting the winner next. So I said, all right, I'll do it. So go out there, beat him worse than anybody's ever beaten him, dominated him. People can say whatever they want, but I just dominated the number 4 guy in the world on 3 weeks' notice and didn't get scratched at all in the fight. So I'm cool. And I beat him worse than anybody beat him. I beat Luke better than anybody's beat him. I beat Wonderboy better than anybody's beat him. So people could say and cry and whatever they want to say, but I'm dominating your favorite fighters. And I don't care what you have to say about it. So I'm the only guy that's in the division that's beating ranked guys. I have 5 ranked wins. Leon Edwards doesn't even have 5 ranked wins. He has 2 wins against Kamaru, and that's it. That's the only ranked guys he's beating right now in the UFC. So even Kamaru, when people were talking about him being the GOAT of the welterweight division, he has 2 wins against Masvidal, 2 wins against Colby, and 1 win against Gilbert. I have more ranked wins than Usman. So when people are saying, oh, this guy deserves it, you don't deserve it, why does this guy be real? Like, you could hate me, say whatever you want, but I should be fighting for the title next. I'm the only guy in the division that deserved it and earned it.
Recently, you mentioned that you think Covington is the easier fight for you. Did you really mean that? And if so, how so?
100%. He's the easiest fight. To me, Gilbert's a way tougher fight than Covington. Colby has terrible striking. He has good wrestling, but it's cardio wrestling. I'm going to shoot on you 20 times, take you down 20 times. But every guy he fights, they get right back up to the feet. And he's been rocked his last 3 or 4 fights by guys that aren't the best strikers. Usman isn't the best striker. Usman finished him. Masvidal is the best striker. Masvidal freaking rocked him, but he didn't have the cardio to finish him. Like, he doesn't have – you're assuming that he's great because he knows how to talk and he's getting these title fights, but he's only getting these title fights because he knows how to talk. Who is he beating? He's being Robbie Lawler. He's being Brian Barbanera. He's being, like, there's not one ranked guy that he's actually beating. People say, oh, he beat RDA. RDA got ranked in the division because he beat Neil Magny, who sucks. And RDA is really a 55er. Like, just because you beat RDA doesn't mean you're good. Like, he's not beating any of these real legitimate guys. I'm beating real guys. I beat Wonderboy, who fought for the title twice. I beat Maya, who fought for the title twice. I beat Gilbert, who fought for the title once. I beat Luke who weighed in for the title backup. Like, I'm beating guys that are real contenders.
And how do you see this fight?
Sorry, go on.
One more. How do you see this fight playing out right now, Leon and Covington? What's the best case scenario for you moving forward to get
best case scenario is Leon comes out there, head kicks him and finishes him, and then he does a quick turnaround. But like Leon's not even a type to do a quick turnaround. I think he's gonna be the worst champ in welterweight history because this guy doesn't want to fight. He doesn't even want to promote himself. I'm like, bro, I was sitting there in Vegas trying to create something. Like you see Adesanya knows how to sell something. Adesanya goes into the cage and he's trying to get in this guy's face. Even Volkanovski, after his fight, he got in to Poirier's face. He's creating something. You don't even have to be like a tough guy or anything. I had to create my own thing with Leon because this guy's just sitting there with his head down, not looking at anybody, not trying to talk. Like he's just a weird dude. You're a champion. Understand? You want to get the big bucks. You want to get paid. Sell yourself. You can't just sit there and just put your head down and think that fans are going to want to watch you. Like create something. I'm next. Whether you like it or not, that's who's next. So it's either you want to create something with it and make a story out of it, or you just want to be a freaking weirdo and just look at your phone or listen to your manager tell you to be quiet. Like, don't give it any attention, bro. Just be quiet. But like he was sitting there texting the social media team, like, who gave him that picture? And I'm like, bro, if he texts you guys again, just tell him to come and ask me who gave me the picture. I'll let you know who gave me the picture.
Is that the picture of you giving him the headshot dead thing?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're leaning so heavy on just being a heel. I'm loving it.
Bro, that's what it is, though. It's like
I'm loving it.
We're gonna be fighting, so create something out of it. Like that's what it's gonna be. Whether you like it or not, that's who you're fighting next. So for him to just put his head down and act like nothing or cry to the people from the social media team, the people from the UFC like me more than you. So I'm gonna get a bit more opportunities than you. Like they're gonna be like, hey, check this out. Look what happened.
I was not expecting this tonight. Bully is on fire. Bully is on fire.
I'm secretly hoping that Covington beats Leon so that I can see you smash Covington, man. Honestly, I really want that to happen. Like, I'd like to see you just destroy Covington.
Honestly, I would want that too, just because I know it'd be a funner buildup, and I would want to like just embarrass him on the mic and in the cage. And I've been calling him out forever. Even when I fought in Australia against Tim Means, I was calling Covington out before it was cool to call out Covington. I was calling him out from a while ago because I always wanted to fight a guy like that because I know that I could dominate a guy like that. And beating a guy like that dominantly, it'll just show the world. Like a guy like Dana White who says, oh, well, if Usman wasn't here, Covington would be champion. Well, I go out there and dominate him, then you're going to give me the respect that I deserve and I earned.
What happens to Covington if he pulls a Brazil in Abu Dhabi?
Oh, man, dude, he'll get killed. They don't mess around out there. That's the thing.
No way, man.
He mess around something stupid like that out there. They're not going to let that happen. Out of our crazy.
I'm in a WhatsApp group with like a few people from the industry here, and I go, guys, what do you think happens if Colby pulls a Brazil in Abu Dhabi? And it was like a unanimous, we'll find him somewhere in the desert. Like he gets up there and he goes, all you Arabs are filthy animals. He's not going home.
No,
like he's just not going to make it home.
Yeah, no, you can't play, especially even. Like you heard with the hillbilly Strickland, where he's like, somebody told me on the Joe Rogan show, he was like, Muslims are one of the people that I can't say nothing about because, I've said something about them, and I had a bunch of teammates come up to me and like grab me and tell me like, you watch what you say. So like, them guys are really passionate. So like, that's one of the religions I don't talk about. All the other religions I can talk about, but like, and that's why these guys know it. You can't play around with our religion because we really care about our religion and it's life or death. So it's like you say something stupid like that, you're really going to get hit.
Yeah.
Man, Strickland says some crazy things. I remember his comments when he was talking about you and he goes, the Palestinians just gave their land away, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this guy's nuts. Like he's a legitimate lunatic.
Yeah.
He's literally I think he's literally LD. He has learning disability, and I think he's literally white trash. That's what I would call it exactly.
Yeah,
That's what he calls himself.
Trash of the America.
LD and white trash, and he can fight. Like that's a combination for disaster, man. Like that's. I was listening.
I was so mad. I was so mad that Abus, because Abus, I knew Abus is really good, but after the first round, I saw him coming out so hard, and I was like, he's throwing every little thing at it, and every little punch, every strike. I'm like, he's gonna get tired, man. He's gonna get tired. And like I said, the Strickland's an airhead, so he has like no brain. So he'll sit there and take a bunch of those punches, a bunch of those hits, and he has a gas tank. So I was like, man, a boost, you're gonna blow it right now. You're gonna blow it. But
He got
any of the
out.
other guys, the higher up guys, the higher veterans, I think are gonna walk through him because Strickland's not that good. When you figure him out, when you realize that this, and this, like the higher end guys, like a Cannonier or Adesanya, I think you're gonna embarrass him.
Bilal, man,
Choose him up.
you shine every time you step foot in Abu Dhabi. Like we watched your first fight with Takashi Sato back in the day. What this time around, like something takes over and you just everything comes together. But this time around, you also had Khabib, right? To what extent did that really help you? And not only during that fight, but your overall game today.
Man, it leveled me up a big time. Just being able to train with them guys for 5 straight weeks and seeing what they're doing for 5 straight weeks, and to like, he's a guy that pushes you to your limits. There's, like you said, he always says, I'm not a nice coach. I'm not a nice guy when it comes to coaching, but outside of it, the nicest guy in the world. But in the gym, he's going to push everybody to their breaking points, and it just pushes your mental game that much harder. And being with those guys, every single one of them guys in that room is a killer. So you're training with those guys every single day, and we're all doing the same stuff every single day. So it leveled me up so much. And then to have him in the back room with us, because to me, he's the GOAT. To me, he's the best fighter. And it was like even surreal for me to thinking back, like, dang, I had Khabib in my corner. He was with me in the back room, and he's just so chill back there. There's not nerves, and he makes you less nervous because, like the what, everything happens for a reason. So no matter what, you put the work in, brother. Stop stressing. Don't be nervous. We're just gonna go out there and have fun. These people are here for you. He just kept telling me that. These people are here for you. Go out there and have fun. These people are here for you. Go out there and have fun. So it just like, it made me feel like I had a full army behind me with just him standing there. So with him there, it was like I was untouchable. And no matter who was going to be in front of me that night, it was going to be dominant win no matter what. I don't even care. It was Francis Ngannou. It just felt like that much bulletproofness that I had. And to have him, to have the crowd, because I know every single person in that crowd was there for me. That's the type of energy that I love. And it feels great anytime I fight there, because I know that there's not one person in there that's going to be booing me. There's not one person in there that's going to be like, oh, I hope this guy loses. Every single person has their eyes on the cage, and they're all cheering for me, and they're all in my corner. And it just makes everything that much sweeter.
Man, it was wild. I turned around. Obviously, our entire group were Palestinians. I turned around. The guys behind me were Kazakh. The guys behind them were Uzbek. The guys behind them were from Dagestan. The guys behind them were from Chechnya. It wasn't just Arabs. It was the full gamut of just, and everybody was losing their minds. And then when Khabib snatched the flag out the crowd and threw it over your shoulders, holy guacamole, man! Like, as far as a sporting moment in my life, that's just like,
yeah, that was up there.
Like, yeah, goosebumps. It freaking amazing.
Going back to when he was handed it to me, I was like, man, it was like amazing. It was such a beautiful thing. And like I said, I always go back in my phone and I just like scroll back down to October, and I just go back to those pictures, those videos. Even before this Gilbert Burns fight, I went back and was like sitting in, you're sitting in your hotel fight week, and you're cutting weight, and you're just looking at this, and you're just like trying to get your mind off your current fight. But then I went back there, and it just like hyped me up to the point of, all right, let's go. We got another one. We're going to have that same moment. We're going to have the same type of result. So let's keep doing it. Let's keep pushing it. It's going to happen.
Now, when I came up to the dinner room, Ayman, I came up to the hotel where Belal was staying with Khabib and the whole team in the Maidan Hotel upstairs. Like, you just walk into the room and it's terrifying. Like, you look around and nobody has human ears. It's just mangled heads, just like cauliflower everywhere. I'm like, I don't want to be here. Say the wrong thing, look the wrong way, cough. No, I'm leaving. Here's your TV. Bye. It was a cool experience, man. It was a very cool experience.
Yeah, it was cool because even for their team, like every week we'll just have a random person pop in. Like, they would always have guys come and visit, and I said, "Oh, who's this guy?" And it was just like the craziest fighters, the craziest guys that are so good. Every single one of these guys is amazing, and like I said, every one of them was like a brotherhood. Oh, what do you want to do? They'll help me work out after practice, help me train in situations. Every one of them is a great grappler. Hey, do this better, do this, work from here. And, some of them didn't speak English, but like we all speak fighting. We all speak wrestling. We all speak the way the body moves. So even without them knowing it, they're showing me through body movement. They're showing me this, hey, do this way, that way, this way, that way. And I knew that there's nobody out here that can fight or train like none of these guys. And I knew that, like I said, that day, no one was going to beat me.
When it comes to like drills and training disciplines and routines, was there something significantly different to what you're used to back home? Something that caught you off guard? Like these guys are different, built different?
Yeah, I think every single one of the rounds was a hard round. Like, you know, back home, you have your teammates that, all right, I know I'm a better grappler than him in here. I know I'm a better striker than this guy. So if I'm feeling tired one day, I know I could just, hey, I'm just going to go with this guy all day. Like, you can't do that in that room because every single one of their guys is a monster. And whether they're in the UFC or ONE FC, like every single one of them guys is a hard round and there was no rounds off. And every single one of them has the mindset to win every round. So the competitiveness, like, made me better, more competitive, and stop, you know, there isn't like light days where it's like, even when we're playing jiu-jitsu or rolling jiu-jitsu, it's like, in Chicago, I want to roll and I'll flow roll with the guys, or I'll go a little bit lighter. And if I do it over there, it's like, they consider you lost. Like, Khabib's yelling at me, get up. What are you doing on the ground? If you're playing on your back, you're losing. Don't play jiu-jitsu. We're not playing jiu-jitsu. We're getting up to their feet. And that just changed my mindset and made me change the way I train here, because like, if you are on your back, you're losing. So don't go on your back. Don't sit there and settle for anything less than being on top and being dominant. And I think that's what they all do over there. None of them are settling for less. Unless they're in a dominant position, they're getting up.
So we've seen you, speaking of coaching, we've seen you step into a bit of, you know, helping people out / I don't want to call it coaching roles, but you were out in Mexico with Yair. You were doing things with Abu Bakr, right?
Yeah.
So what's that been like for you, man? Like trying to do a bit of the coach bully.
I mean, I always started coaching from not really coaching, but like being in that role from the start. Because when me and Lewis were training, we were the only two teammates that were together. Like, we had a small gym, so like whenever he fought, I would be whoever his opponent was, and whenever I fought, he would be whoever my opponent was. Like, we would always mimic each other's opponents. So like, for him, like, people don't know how good he really is. But I'm sitting there like, bro, this guy would be a UFC champion. He was a PFL champion, and all he had was like me and one other training partner. He didn't have a huge gym. He didn't have American Top Team or any of that. Like, he just had amazing natural ability and hard work ethic, and he got to be a world champion. And I think that if people really understood how good he was, they would know that they would give him the respect that he deserves. But for me now, it's like, the way that he mentored me, I want to mentor these younger guys that I'm working with, these younger guys that I helped, because I've always been helped by so many people. So like, Khabib hit me up right after my fight with Gilbert Burns. He said, hey, Abu Bakr's fighting in 2 weeks. Could you come down? And I was like, my ankle's kind of swollen, but like, when Khabib asks you for help, you like, he's giving me so much. I'm like, bro, I'll be there for him. Abu Bakr helped me even a lot there in that camp too. So I'm like, I'll be there for you. Yair, same thing. He's like in Mexico, and whenever he's in Chicago, like, I learned so much from him just because of the way he moves and the way he strikes. So like, I was like, I'll go to Mexico and put me in a house, help me out, anything I needed, cars or anything. So it's always cool when they respect your time. It's not like, hey, could you come down here? Could you get your own room, get your own this, get your own that? It's like, no, they take care of me the whole way. So that's always cool. And even now I teach at my school now at Valley Flow Striking 2 times a week with these younger guys, younger generation. My main training partner, Ignacio Bahamondes, is fighting August 5th. So being in his corner, helping him is always great. Because like I said, showing them the road that I took, it was like a lot harder and a longer road. So like, if I could help them skip some of the steps that I had to take, it would be easier for them and make their time easier for them. And it's also showing them the mistakes I made too. It's because I didn't just get here by the straight path. Everything was up and down, up and down, up and down. So if they don't have to have the downs and they can just go straight up, I think it's possible for guys like him and these younger guys to make it easier.
Yeah, of course, man. Now, here's one other question for you. You threw up a bit of a controversy, and I've got to bring it up, about the head clash between Rodriguez and Volkanovski. And the question was, did it make a difference? And you posted it on your stories, and you go, yes, it did. Tell me a little bit more about that, because I'm very interested in your take.
It did. I mean, people can say whatever they want, but it was a hard headbutt, and you're concussed, whether you think about it or not. Like, Yair's a tough dude, and he's taking tougher fights, tougher hits in a lot of those fights. before that. He's been in wars. He has a Mexican chin. And, I think that he needed that full 5 minutes, but they don't give you full 5 minutes for headbutts. For headbutts is different. For low blows, they give you a full 5 minutes. But for a headbutt, which doesn't make any sense, they're trying to rush you right back in there, which is pretty stupid. But I think that it did make a difference. Obviously, the fight wasn't going his way, but when he was on the feet, he was having his moments. He was having those slick moments of bringing the kick over the top. And he's a guy that's going to fight until the end, as we've seen in the Korean Zombie fight. He needed 1 second to knock him out, and he's a knockout guy. So people can say whatever they want, but the fight's not over until the last bell rings. The last seconds are done. So people can say whatever they want, but I think that he's a special kid, and I think he'll definitely be back. Obviously, Volkanovski's pound for pound #1 guy right now. He's an amazing fighter. He's very smart with the way he fights. He could keep it on the feet or take it to the ground. He chooses whatever his opponent weaknesses is. And it's kind of like me, where if I want to keep it standing, I'll keep it standing. If I think you're better on worse on the ground, I'll take you to the ground. So he knows how to do that. He's a very good strategist. I think that if it was a rematch, Yair would understand better and realize what to do. I think people just underestimate Volkanovski's strength. And I think that, he was taking Yair down. He has a really good top game. Yair needed to do a better job of just getting up to his feet instead of staying there playing guard, trying to elbow off his back. But like I said, still, if it was on the feet, the rest of there were still 2 more rounds to go. And if that headbutt never happened, you never know what would happen.
You think Volk goes up a weight class now? Think that's the right move?
I think for him, he does have another fight at 45. Topuria is a great fighter. I think he's undefeated, and Volk's one of those guys where he wants to cement himself as the best featherweight to ever do it. And beating another undefeated guy, young guy, would make a lot of sense. I think to do a quick turnaround and fight Islam again, I think the rematch would go worse for Volk, because I think that rematch, that first fight, Islam didn't. I think Islam kind of you're underestimating him. Their wrestling is so good, and I think that he probably didn't realize how good Volk's grappling would be. So I think it's easier to learn about something and make the adjustments in grappling than it would be in a striking match. For a guy like Adesanya in his rematch, striking, all right, well, he caught me with this hook. Don't get caught with that hook again. For Islam, it's okay, I had him in these positions right here. Now I know what his strength level is. Now I know where I could shoot. Now I know where I could take him down. I know where I can control him. And I think that a second fight coming, it'll be an easier fight for Islam. And I think maybe even a finish, because he was catching him on the feet with really good strikes. And even on the ground, he had his back for great positions, but he wasn't fully committed to chokes, fully committed to that. And also, what people are saying is Islam didn't have the full 24 hours to rehydrate for that fight. They fought in the morning there, and Islam weighed less than Volk. So if they're going to be rematching in Abu Dhabi, Islam's going to be down there for a while. He's going to get the right time to fully rehydrate, and he's going to be a lot bigger.
We're all assuming that they will, because obviously they haven't released the card yet. They've released only the sales on the UFC website for the VIP packages. Obviously, anybody who can afford them is buying them, but they're not cheap. It's starting from $1,200, and they're sold out. But we're all under the assumption that because we're not seeing Khamzat in the US for whatever reason, that wonder why, that Khamzat will be on the card, that Islam will be on the card, and we know the only one we kind of know about, or we're pretty sure about, is Leon and Colby, which really should be Leon and you.
Yeah,
I still can't wrap my head around that. But anyway, we're assuming it's going to be Islam. So Volk isn't ready. Who are they going to give him?
For Islam, I think obviously they're talking about the Poirier-Chandler fight, but I think they're both going to be in a war. So the Poirier and Gaethje fight, they're going to be in a war. I think that's neither one of those guys going to be able to do a quick turnaround. You have Chandler out there. I think
that's what I was thinking. He's
like a McGregor, where he has that star power where people don't care if he lost his last fight. They give him a title fight, UFC could sell it. For Islam, there's so many big names that he hasn't fought yet. And those fights, he hasn't fought Poirier, he hasn't fought Gaethje, he hasn't fought Chandler. So for him, I would want new blood anyway. I don't know why Oliveira deserves a rematch off of getting one win. I know it was a huge win against Dariush, but it was an easy fight for Islam. He walked through him. It wasn't like it was competitive at all.
Do you see that going differently? Islam Oliveira too?
No, I don't. I just think that stylistically, Islam is just a hard matchup for him. Islam
There you go.
grabs a hold of him. You can't play jiu-jitsu with Islam. He's gonna be a lot stronger than you. He's gonna break you in those positions. Darush even took him down, and had his moments there, but Darush doesn't have the same strength as Islam. If Islam took you down like Darush took you down, he's gonna keep you down, and he's gonna end up finishing you again.
Yeah,
and Islam has better defense on the feet. I think Darush just went out there. He always gets caught. He always gets caught with punches. He always has those moments where he gets rocked and he rocks you. Islam doesn't have those moments. He's not going to sit there and play the Rock'em Sock'em Robots games. He has really good defense. He's going to catch you because you're going to think that all he's going to do is wrestle. Then he's going to finish you. And I think that's matchup wise, he's just a bad matchup for him. I think for Islam, some of the toughest fights in the division are guys like an Armand who can grapple and strike. That first fight with him too was great. And I think that, but they're going to give him the bigger names, right? They're going to give him the guys like a Poirier or Gaethje or Chandler.
I think Chandler makes a lot of sense. He's not fighting Conor clearly.
Yeah.
Because
you reward him for waiting. You reward him for being an ultimate fighter. Like, all right, we'll give you Islam. And, Dana, like I said, he can make anything make sense. The same way he made Colby make sense. Like Chandler getting a title shot against Islam makes more sense than Colby getting a title shot against Leon because there's nobody else for Islam to fight. 100%. Leon has me to fight, so that doesn't really make any sense. But Chandler makes more sense than Colby does.
100%. I never understood the Colby thing. I mean, off of what? Off a Masvidal win.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
No, it doesn't make sense to anyone. Nobody is making any sense of.
Makes sense to the white people, though. I'll tell you that.
Honestly, I haven't met a single.
Oh my god! I can't. Did you just say that? Am I going to have to edit that out? Are you cool with leaving it? That's true, though. You get Belal, who's just beaten Gilbert, Brady, Maya, Thompson, and then they want to give me this guy who's beaten Masvidal.
But like I say, I joke around about it, but I feel like there hasn't been really a white champion, a white American champion since like Chris Weidman. And that's obviously that's what's going to sell when you're looking at the our demographic, UFC fight fans. There are probably all like mid-age white guys from America. Like it's a huge population there. So then they haven't had that champion. And you watch movies. Remember you watched that movie with the Great White Hype with Damon Wayans?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember it was like, man, what we need to get you, man? We need to get you a white boy champion because that's what sells.
You're right.
That's what's gonna sell.
Was Chris Weidman the last one?
Sees this,
huh? Yeah, I think Chris Weidman was like the last white champion, white
if
American.
Strickland sees this, he's gonna go crazy at you because he already calls you racist.
If Strickland calls me racist, yeah,
isn't that funny?
Oh no!
But I got white friends, so we're cool. Shout out to Jared Gordon.
I have a white friend, one guy.
I have a new level of empathy/sympathy for Strickland after listening to his last JRE podcast. Man, dude, have you heard it, Belal?
No, I was just hearing my brother just tell me like, bro, this guy.
Oh my god, man, listen to that.
He's an airhead.
No, but like it was super awkward talking about extremely difficult topics, childhood topics, about how his struggles as a kid and just laughing. So Joe Rogan didn't know how to respond or how to empathize or not or sympathize. It was super awkward, man. New level of just twisted. Watch it. Yeah, something wrong there.
The guy's a weirdo, and then like you see it, come out when he does say dumb things, but like. Do you want people to feel sorry for you? Then stop saying stupid stuff. Like, but I think that's what he is. I think he's trying to play this, not really play a character, but he wants to have that type of, like I said, a reaction of people feeling, oh man, this guy, maybe he does say stupid things because he was raised a certain way or this or that. And when you hear his stupid stories, it's like, how would you even say something dumb like that? I think he said before something like, oh, well, when I was young, I wanted to have a swastika on my chest. And I'm like, bro, this guy is seriously the dumbest person I've ever seen.
Yeah, he said a few things like that.
Yeah.
All right, I got two things that I need you to clear up for us. I am of the mindset that the welterweight division right now, your division, is the most stacked division in the UFC.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other division in the UFC that has as many unbeaten fighters.
Killers.
You got Michael Morales. You got you. I mean, not just unbeaten, but just guys with just stupid records. You got you, Sean Brady, Michael Morales.
Shafkat.
We've got champions like Usman. We got who else? Ayman? We got Shavkat Rahmanov. Technically, we've still got Hamzat in there. Technically,
Even
it seems like he's...
what's his name that just beat Kevin Lee?
Oh my God. Fakhreddinov.
Renat, yeah.
Renat Fakhreddinov.
What's his name? Renat Fakhreddinov. Oh my God, dude. Where did they find that guy?
It was funny. One time when I was at the PI one day, and I was sitting there training, and then I was talking with like Chris Curtis, and Sean Strickland walked up, and like he was trying to talk tough, and we got in each other's face, and Renat like was like walking behind me, and I was like, I felt like he was gonna jump in for me. So shout out to Renat. He's a real one.
Yeah, he's scary looking, man. Scary looking, dude.
It looks terrifying.
He's a monster, though. He's like, and he just showed like where people just think that he's a grappler now. His last fight, he goes out to finish. When I saw that they gave Kevin Lee him, I just felt bad for Kevin. I was like, man, I don't know who he pissed off in the UFC, but that's a terrible first fight to come back to.
Did you hear what he did to Kevin Lee the night before?
Renat?
Yeah.
No.
So Renat found out that Kevin Lee is Muslim. He went and bought some masbaha, prayer beads.
Yeah.
And went to Kevin Lee's room and gave it to him as a gift. I said,
oh wow, really?
Oh, brother, I heard you're a Muslim, I welcome, blah, blah, blah. And he gives him a masbaha. And he beats the shit out of him the next day. That must be so confusing.
But still, that's pretty cool, though. It's pretty cool he did that. Kevin just retired, right? Retired.
Yeah, he just retired yesterday.
And then people say 135 is the most stacked division. How? It's got to be welterweight.
It's welterweight.
Yeah, I think they just don't see it now because like I said, the champions aren't fighting the next best guy. Like there's so many rematches. So you're seeing Usman against Leon twice. You're seeing Usman against Masvidal twice. You're seeing Usman against. So they're assuming that it's not stacked because the UFC just keeps making these rematches, which doesn't make any sense. But if they're sitting there watching it, like there's a lot of guys that should have been fighting for the title a while ago. Like Luque should have fought for the title a while ago. He shouldn't have sat there and had to fight me. He should have been able to go next. But that's how hard it is because now you lose that one fight. Now you're at the back of the road again because everybody's so hard in the division. So he was right there at the title fight. Then he lost to me. Now you lost to Jeff Neal. Now you're like, oh, crap. Where am I now? This guy, Gilbert Burns, lost to me. Who's his next opponent going to be? He has to choose it wisely because you never know what's next. Wonder Boy was supposed to be fighting for the title. Then he fought Gilbert. Then he lost to me. Now you're 5 steps backwards. Yeah. Like when you see the guys after they're one step away from the title, that's when you realize the division's stacked because these champions aren't fighting the tough guys. Adesanya is fighting every single guy that's, hey, this guy makes sense. That guy makes sense. I want to fight the next best guy. Volkanovski, I want to fight the next best guy. Our champions are freaking, let me sit on the sideline for a little bit and talk to maybe a rematch. Let me do this rematch, or let me try to get Nate Diaz out of retirement or something stupid.
What did you make of Usman calling out Hamzat at a weight class that he's clearly left?
I think and for Usman, it's like, what's next? I figured he would have retired maybe after that second fight. And then even me, when I was sitting there before the Gilbert Burns fight, I saw him at a fight and I was like, hey, bro, when I call you out, it's out of respect. Usman was the only one that really made sense for me after beating Sean Brady, and I didn't know what was next. So I was like, me and Usman makes sense. But now fighting Gilbert Burns, getting a title shot, now it's like waiting. So now for Usman, it's like, what's next for him? Because these up-and-comers are all monsters. So if I'm going to fight an up-and-comer, let it be an up-and-comer that's huge name, value, like a Hamzat. So I think that he wanted to do it at a catch weight, but the UFC hates catch weights. And I think that Usman knows if he does at 85 and he beats him, he would have to fight Adesanya next. And he's not going to fight Adesanya. Or if you're going to beat him at 85 and then go back down to 70, then you're taking away Hamzat versus Adesanya, which is a big money fight for the UFC. So it doesn't really make sense for the UFC unless he does it at 185. And I think that's the game they're trying to play right now, where Usman wants to fight him. So he wanted to do it at 180, UFC didn't want it. So now he's like, well, okay, I'm not going to do it at 185. So let's do it at 170. And Hamza's not going to do it at 170.
No.
No.
Props to Usman for calling him out, though, man. I don't even want to be in the same room as Hamza. That dude is terrifying.
I think it's a bad matchup for Usman, though. He's a bad matchup for Usman, I think.
I don't think so. I to me, I don't think it's a bad matchup. I think Usman's a bad matchup for him. I think
I don't
we've
think
seen in the
Usman
Gilbert
can
fight
wrestle the same way he used to. Right, his
but
knees
it's
are
not
all
really
messed
wrestling.
up.
It's defending the takedown. So it's like I think wrestling defense is better. When you're looking at Hamza, a lot of the guys that he's out wrestled or dominated wrestling are guys that are a lot smaller than him. Usman's pretty big. Usman's strong. Usman defends one takedown, then it's going to have to be all on the feet. And Usman's very patient on the feet, has a good jab. Hamza's going to come out super hard for that first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then he starts to slow down. A guy like Gilbert, when he fought him, he was catching him with some big shots later in the round, second, third rounds, because you saw Hamza be in that war and he got sloppy with his defense, sloppy with his hands, got a little bit tired, got emotional where his coaches are yelling at him because he's not listening to the game plan. And if it's just all on the feet, I think Usman is very smart with his hands. He has a really good jab. I don't think that Hamza's going to be able to out-grapple him or out-muscle him like he did to like Kevin Holland or the 55ers that he's fought. Yeah, he knocked out Gerald Meerschaert, but it was one punch, and anybody could get caught with one punch. So I think that Usman's a very tough fight for him. Like guys with great grappling are a tough fight for him.
Interesting take.
Interesting take, yeah. Yeah. I just think his knees are more messed up than he claims.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've heard that he walks downstairs backwards, but I think that like I don't see him offensively wrestling Hamza. I think defensive wrestling he'll be fine. Defensive wrestling him, but I think he hasn't really offensive wrestled anybody in a while. And we saw his last fight against Leon where his offensive wrestling didn't really look that great, but his defensive wrestling has always been great.
Yeah, yeah.
I got one last thing that I want you to clear up for us. This is a bit of a marriage counseling session.
Oh God.
The featherweight GOAT. Is it Jose Aldo or is it Alexander Volkanovski?
Man, Jose Aldo is my favorite fighter coming up. Favorite fighter coming in. Dude, he still has the most title defenses. Like I'm gonna go with Jose Aldo no matter what.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
He's being quiet now. You ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
You'll say nothing. You'll say nothing.
I'll disagree.
Even when Volkanovski beat him, it wasn't like Volkanovski didn't even dominate Jose Aldo. He like pushed him to the fence, and that was kind of like where you started seeing, all right, Volkanovski knows how to play the game because he pushed him to the fence, stalled it out a little bit. He didn't dominate Jose Aldo. He didn't finish Jose Aldo. Max Holloway finished Jose Aldo twice, but Volkanovski didn't.
I love Max.
Yeah.
I mean, Max is one of the best to do it too, right? It's like
he's just fun, man. He's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah,
you know
he's a good dude.
If Volk beats Topuria, does your answer change?
No, I mean, Aldo got 9 title defenses. Volk's on 5 right now. Volk has to get 4 more.
8 title defenses.
Oh, 8?
Yeah.
All right, you got to get 3 more.
You heard it. You heard it from the number one ranked welterweight contender in the world. Not me, not little on me. What would I know? I know nothing.
Okay, so one more thing I want to ask you, then we're going to let you go. I don't want to take too much time. So we have an inner podcast competition going on with another podcast out there, right? Another Arabic, similar to Hosheh podcast. So we're going to try and see who is going to better predict UFC 291, right?
Okay.
And you want to cheat?
No, I'm not going to cheat. I want Belal.
You want to get Bully's picks.
I want Bilal's pick for the main event. Gaethje
with Justin and Poirier
versus Poirier.
No one can predict that one.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be a war. I think that the way that first fight wins, like I think I'm going to just go to that fight just to watch it live. And if I could just come for the main event, I'll leave after the main event. I don't even know what else other fights are on that card. The only thing that's interesting is the high altitude. I want to see if it's going to affect either one of them too, because Justin trains in high altitude.
Are they doing it in Denver?
They're doing it in Utah.
Dude, it's a pretty stacked event. Like you have Blachowicz against Pereira. You have Paulo
Oh,
Costa
yeah.
against the up and coming.
Wait, is that fight really happening? Because I don't know. Because you got Costa saying I'm going to fight in October, and we really haven't seen him putting training stuff out there, and he's acting like I don't know who this guy is. Why am I going to fight this guy?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know if he actually knows that he has a fight,
I don't.
bro.
Because I'm picking Ikram for that fight. I'm picking Ikram.
I mean, I pick him, but like, we'll see who he's fighting.
Yeah.
Man, so we know this Ikram kid from Brave because we used to watch him fight here.
Yeah,
he's a problem.
He's a monster.
Is he?
Yeah,
he's a problem.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of guys telling me that he's really good, and I've seen him train with the Murad from One FC.
Yeah.
And that guy's a monster. Like I'd never trained with anybody as good of a grappler as that guy. So if Ikram's training with him, I know that he's probably really good.
Dude's a problem.
One loss to Hamza.
Yeah.
That's it. His whole career.
That's it. Yeah. And I think that it was a close fight, wasn't it? Until that point of the knockout.
Yeah.
The uppercut.
Exactly.
It was a bad uppercut. Yeah. But up until that point, it was a back and forth, fight. It was pretty competitive. Yeah.
Was it 170 or 185?
It was 170.
170?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So what else? What other picks you want to get off, Bully? You want to cheat?
I just want that one pick. Poirier.
Man.
No one can pick that one.
Yeah, I know. But if anyone can come close, it's Belal. And up until your last pick for what's his name? Rodriguez?
Yeah.
I used to.
Yeah, but you know why? Because our boy got emotional.
Yeah, but I used to like really take your pick seriously. So there's a lot of respect there. So
I always get the text from my friends. They're like, "Bro, are these real picks? What are your what are your teammate picks and what are your regular picks?" I always had to tell them that.
The easiest way to do it is to go. This is what my advice to anyone who wants picks. I don't advocate for any kind of gambling. It's haram. But if that's your thing, you go to Chael Sonnen's page. You see who Chael Sonnen picked, right? And then you go to Bilal's page. And if Belal has picked the exact opposite to Chael Sonnen, then you know that they're a lock. Because that dude has never picked a single fight right ever in his entire life.
Literally in his life.
Nor has he ever said your name right.
Blahal.
If Blahal Muhammad Belal. Blahal. Belal. Ya ibni, it's Belal. Ya hayawan, it's Belal. Blahal. Ya kalb. Ya bagara. Ya ja'ash. Belal. Blahal. I've got to get in front of it, man. Oh, he can't say any names. He has a problem with names.
But he got us talking about him, so like maybe it's a good stunt.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Of course, he's doing it on purpose. Come on, he knows.
I think he does because you get a million comments, you get a million things because it's going to bring attention. It's going to bring people talking.
Yeah. He's a pretty smart dude. Come on.
He keeps calling Tommy Fury something like not even Tommy, like not even something close to Tommy. Keeps calling him like Steve. Who's Steve Fury? You mean Tommy Fury? Nah, Steve.
Belal, your pick.
My brother. Okay, if you're gonna make me force it, I think I'm gonna go with Poirier. I think that
KO
Poirier he mixes it up too much. He mixes it up a lot, so I think he'll mix it up some grappling. Seeing Justin his last couple fights against Khabib, he wasn't great on the ground against Oliveira. He was afraid to go to the ground. So like I think Poirier, who is a black belt, he has a lot of submissions. I think he's going to try to play that game. You don't want to have another one of those fights where you're just going bar brawling and then taking those low kicks, especially knowing now that there's a chance that if you could do a quick turnaround against Islam for the title if you go out of there unscathed. So if it's coming out unscathed, I think that changes the game plan for both of them. Too, it's like, all right, I get a quick finish.
He looked good against Viziev, the bully.
Yeah. Oh, but it was all on the feet, though. It was all on the feet. It was all straight striking.
He did give us a takedown at the end, and he goes, "There, I gave you a takedown. You happy now?"
No, Justin's great. I love Justin, but if I had to pick one of them two, I think I'm going to go with them. Both of them two are like two of my favorite fighters to watch.
Yeah.
Fair enough, man.
Cool. That's locked in. Lock it in.
I think honestly, I don't think anyone. I think that's just a coin toss.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I don't even think I'm going to circle any one of them two.
They're just going to go bang. It's 50-50. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think, in my opinion, that's a large reason why Moreno lost his title recently. I think guys who fight the way, and I know everybody's heaping praise on Moreno, but I think if you fight in that style, your fights are going to be 50-50.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. And I think that's where you got real champions like a Volkanovski who could dictate where the fight goes. All right, I want to take it to the ground. I want to make it this way. But guys like that who could only win one way, and it has to be every single one of his fights is going to be close for Moreno because he does want a bar brawl. He's not afraid to bar brawl. He loves the scrambles. But for the smaller weight classes, a lot of those guys are great everywhere. There's not a lot of guys with weaknesses in certain spots. So I think for him, it's tough because you have to fight a certain way. There hasn't been a champion in the smaller where they're specialists. There was not really specialists that can make it to the top in hard grappling because everybody there is great.
Yeah, I guess not since Demetrius.
But he was good everywhere. He wasn't like, and he was very smart. He was intelligent. But even now, it's like a newer generation where they have striking, they have grappling, they have jiu-jitsu. Everybody has everything. Even Pantoja, like he had those moments where, all right, I'm resting on your back. I have your back control. And you get to those moments, those are the spots that, all right, I got to let the clock tick because once I let him out, it's a tornado and anything can happen in a tornado.
I hope they give Amir Al-Bazzi the shot, man.
He's another great fighter, right? He's another young guy who's on a huge streak. And I think that he makes a lot of sense when he says it. When he says, oh, Royval lost to both of these guys. I'm on a streak. I just beat Kai Kara France, whether you believe it or not. Like, I still got to win. It's still a W next to my name against a guy who fought for the title before.
Imagine we have 2 Arab UFC champions. We have Belal at welterweight and Amir Al-Bazzi at
Those were our picks for 2023, man. Belal.
And inshallah, coming soon.
Yeah, man. Belal, brother, it was an absolute pleasure having you. We've missed you. The fans missed you. I hope we get to do this way more frequently.
For sure, my brother. Hit me up. This is your first time messaging me in a while. So just message me, let me know. I got you.
I message you all the time. I just don't ask you to come on the show.
yeah, man. Message you on come on the show.
Hang on a minute. All right, podcast selfie. Bang! All right, Bully. Thank you so much, brother, for your time. We really, really appreciate it. We'll send you the link for it on YouTube, and we will post it and tag you in it and all the rest of that good stuff.
My brothers. Yalla, guys.
Baby, thank you, Belal.
Take care, bro. Bye.
مساك وورد معطر ياسمين شباب صبايا ايمن مسكين وقت طارق اهدى كتير حكيت انت لما هوش يبدا اسكت لا تندم عكس لوز وسكر زيهم ابيض اسمر طارق عم يتمسخر ايمن بس بتحضر نفس التايتين ع اكبر شوي لو تحكي قدامه راح يبلعك ناي زي راجنا ريمان يغزو